Hello Crypto Empire, and welcome back to yet another Sunday live stream. This is where we dominate the crypto market, and I am your host Connor from Crypto Empire. I want to welcome everybody to today's live stream. Big shout out to everybody that is here nice and early, getting some hype up in the live chat. If you're just tuning in right now, welcome. Smash up that like button for the YouTube algorithm. I greatly appreciate your support, but we do have a lot to talk about in today's live stream because we just had another very green week in the crypto market. So what happens now? Is Bitcoin just going to keep rushing and pumping higher, or are we going to cool off a little bit and then allow some further setups to develop for that next leg up higher? I'll be going over everything inside of this live stream, so stick with me until the end. It's going to be a jam-packed one, but let's go ahead and start things off with our crypto market overview. Shout out to Elvis saying, good morning guys, happy Sunday. What's going on, Elvis? And we also have Jazzy with us nice and early. We got All Day Dre, we got Rigoberto, we got NLG, we got Jason Brennan, Make Money with Harry, and Warthog Thunderbolt. What's going on, everybody? Good to see you all in the live chat. So let's take a look at the market. $1.07 trillion is our overall crypto market cap, so still sitting above $1 trillion, which is a good sign. But we do have a lot more trillions needed to flood into this market to get the gains that we want. But for now, we will continue to accumulate, we will continue to trade and set ourselves up for the real mega bull run that is coming in 2024, 2025. Bitcoin trading for $22,462 with an overall market cap of $432 billion. And we have ETH trading for $1,618. Market cap just below $200 billion. So everything is flat for the most part today. I woke up this morning, not sure what you guys do. Let's leave a poll. I'm going to leave a poll right here. And I'm curious what the audience has to say. Answer this question. I'm going to leave a poll in the live chat. Bear with me as I leave this poll. Here we go. All right. Go answer that poll in the live chat. The question is, what's the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning? Do you check your crypto prices, or do you just get your day started like every normal person around the world? Because what I do is I tend to go ahead and I check crypto prices first thing when I wake up in the morning. And I woke up this morning, it was Sunday, and I saw everything was pumping. And my spidey senses started to tingle. I was like, I don't really trust this pump here. Why is everything pumping overnight? Why am I waking up to altcoins being up 10% on a Saturday night, Sunday morning? And now we are seeing that was a bit of a scam pump. Everything is pretty much fully retraced that pump. I'll be going over that in this video, so stick with me. But if we look at today's gainers and losers, we got Super Shogun saying, bro, I listen to you while I drive my truck today. I get to watch it. Let's go. What's going on, Super Shogun? Good to see you, my man. Let's see the results of this poll. So the large majority of the participants in this live stream, the first thing they do is they check crypto prices as soon as they wake up in the morning. So it looks like we do have a bunch of addicted degens here, addicted diehard crypto fanatics. I absolutely love to see it. And yeah, I mean, this is Crypto Empire, so what do you expect, right? But yeah, so I woke up this morning and I saw everything was pumping. I did not trust it. It looks like a lot of things have went ahead and retraced that pump. But looking at today's gainers and losers, a lot of stuff is green, I should say. A lot of low caps. We're seeing things like Stargate Finance. This is a bridge, a cross-chain bridge. It's up 28% on the day. SONM is up 118% on the day. And a bunch of low caps are performing well. Juno up 11%, which is good to see. And looking at today's top gainers, we have Deep Brain Chain. I actually feature that in my video I released today, talking about low cap gem picks. Deep Brain Chain is an AI artificial intelligence blockchain, and that is down 14% on the day. But yeah, we have a bunch of losers today. Also, WASDR down 12% on the day. Looks like somebody's dumping that. So low caps haven't really taken off yet from their lows. I'll go over that in this video. But that's our market cap right now. Really a lot of flat pumps were retraced. Let's go look at the charts and go over the TA. So Bitcoin here on the daily price chart looks pretty good. Our parabola is still intact on the daily, but it is looking very heavy. So if this parabola breaks, that would essentially mean that this really strong uptrend is not necessarily going to totally break and we're going to come back down to 16K. I really doubt that happens. But the way this parabola looks up here with price resting on it, if it doesn't pump further, then it's going to break. We can see over here on Friday with this big green candle, this candle took off as soon as it touched the parabola support line, right where my arrow is pointing to on the chart. So we're going to see how this week opens up. We have our daily candle close in 2 hours. That's also going to be the weekly candle close. So we're going to see if a matter of fact this parabola breaks and we come back down to test some lower support levels. Now, if that scenario happens, I'm going to go over right now the levels that you need to have marked on the Bitcoin price chart to watch for a pullback if we get this parabola to break. And to illustrate this, I'm going to go to a cleaner chart and I'm going to higher the time frame to a weekly. All right, so if I go to the weekly price chart here, and I'm going to pull up some simple EMAs on my chart. First one is the 200. Second one is the 21 weekly EMA. All right, so this little red skinny line here, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger actually. It's a little bit thicker. It's actually a pink line. So this pink line on my screen, right, this one, this is the 200 weekly EMA. Currently, it resides at $24,954, basically 25K. Now, this 200 weekly EMA is huge. It is such a strong, important support resistance flip level, and right now it is sitting exactly at $25,000. The reason it is such a reliable and strong support resistance flip level is we can actually go ahead and we can look back in time. We're going to follow this pink line all the way back here to 2020 and also 2018. All right, we can see on this chart, I'm actually going to go to the BLX chart so we get data all the way back to 2013. But anyways, if we look at this chart, this pink line here is the 200 weekly EMA. During all previous bear market bottoms, 2018 most recently, 2020 here, 2018, you can also go back in time further to 2015, right over here in 2015 in both February and then September later on in the year. What was used as support? What marked the bottom of the bear market? It was in fact this 200 weekly EMA. That is why it is so significant. During the entire history of Bitcoin, right, it only goes back to 2014 on this chart, but in the 2015 bear market, in the 2018 bear market, in the 2020 crash in March of 2020 when the whole entire world stopped because of you know what, guess what was used as support on Bitcoin? This 200 weekly EMA. So now that you understand this, excuse me, now that you understand the significance of it, let me just clear my throat. Now that you understand the significance of the 200 weekly EMA, right? Mark the bottom over here in 2018. Very obvious. When we were under that 200 EMA, that was the accumulation period. This is a weekly price chart, meaning that every single one of these candles is 1 week long. So over here, we were underneath this EMA for quite a bit, for about 133 days, right? So 4 or 5 months. And then over here in March of 2020, we also broke the 200 EMA in the weekly. All right, that was the bottom. Then we go on an explosive parabolic bull run. All right, now if we look in May, we initially lost the 200 weekly EMA. We have spent about a year underneath of it, or 6, 7, 8 months or something. 200 217 days. So that's quite a long time. 7 months. Over 7 months, we've been underneath the 200 weekly EMA. And now it is at $25,000. So this is where Bitcoin is headed next. It is going to test $25,000. Now the reason I also pulled up the 21 EMA, which is this gold line, right? This is our main support on the chart. I'm just going to go back to our Coinbase chart here so that I can dig into the price action a little bit better. All right, so we know we're going to 25K here to test this 200 weekly. It is currently resistance. When this flips to support, that is full risk on. That is like we're back. We're fully back. When we get a weekly close above that 200 weekly EMA and we actually hold above it and hold it as support, that's when you know we are so back. All right, and the bears are going to go totally back into hibernation. For now, that's still not the case. It's still possible for now that we actually go up to this weekly 200 and we reject and we stay in a further range. I doubt that happens. The way things do look, it looks like it wants to break this. We've been underneath of it for the better part of 7 months, so we are certainly due for this to break to the upside and we'll get some bullish price action further. As I said last week, I see Bitcoin going up here to this gray order block, or this gray liquidity area. This is around $40,000. I do think that is possible. But for now, we are between a rock and a hard place between this 200 weekly EMA and the 21. And the 21 right now is at $19,713. So if we do get a big pullback, this is what I really want to see hold as support. 19.7K, really around 20K. And notice how this lines up perfectly with my gray liquidity area on the chart. If I drop this down to a daily time frame, notice over here back in September, we spent a lot of time trading in this little narrow gray range. This is our main support, also lines up with the 21 weekly EMA. This is also the 21 daily EMA, all lining up basically at the same spot. So 20K, 19,700 is our main area to watch for a pullback on Bitcoin because it is looking relatively heavy up here. I'm going to drop this down to a 12-hour time frame. On this 12-hour, as we can see, we are well above that pre-FTX crash spot, right? This was at 21,500. We went ahead and pushed right above that on Friday. We closed well above it and got up to 23K, right? We swept these highs, and right now it is looking a little bit heavy up here. We have a lot of wicks to the upside. These wicks are representing sellers, right? Sellers are holding this level up here at $23,000, pushing price below it. Now we are essentially dipping, but we did recover slightly. So what we do have to look out for is for price to roll over, come back and test this structure. If we look at, this is a 12-hour chart on the higher time frames, this is going to be an easy rally-based rally demand zone. So price is first going to come down and test this structure if we do get the pullback. And then if that breaks to the downside, we know that 19,700 is our weekly 21. We can certainly wick below it, right? Because it's very clear on our 12-hour, we have a demand zone. This is a rally-based rally. I will mark this in green for all of us to see. And this is at 19,100 to 18,800. So maybe we get a long wick into this demand zone. And if we go to the weekly chart, it would just look like a wick below that 21 weekly EMA. But regardless, this is the prime area. I don't think we go much lower than that on a pullback. All right, all the bears are going to be screaming for 16K again. Guess what? They're going to get left behind so hard like they already did. So now that we know our levels to watch for a pullback for, again, very simple, 19,700 to 20K is my outlined level for a pullback. Let's go over some scenarios on basically trading to make money with altcoins. I'm going to end the poll here. The large majority of people here in the live stream check the crypto prices first thing in the morning. Love the dedication from all of you guys. We're all going to make it this bear market for sure. This bull market, I mean, it's still kind of a bear market, but we're pretty much out of it. Let me catch up with the live chat real quick. Godot Krill saying he's back in since New Year's. Good to see you, Godot. Welcome back to crypto. Expendable Youth, what's going on? KDAX07, good day from down under. What's up, KDAX? Rigoberto saying that his girls don't give him the time to check that early. I feel that, man. Responsibilities definitely come first. We got Super Shogun with us. What's going on, Super Shogun? By the way, we got 60 viewers in here and only around 25 likes. Smash up that like button right now for the YouTube algorithm. I appreciate your support. Death Cross incoming. Godot, which Death Cross are you referring to? Let's see, Ron. I've seen some publicly traded crypto stocks that have been actively dropped greater percentage than Bitcoin did since its peak. Mara, Riot, are there others? Do you recommend any? Nah, I don't mess with stocks, man. And those are all Bitcoin mining stocks. There's been a lot of talk about Bitcoin miner capitulation, so it's probably drops out of fear. But no, I don't touch those stocks. Anti-corporation saying, grateful to be back. Hope you've been well, Connor. Much love, respect, and gratitude. What is going on? The anti-corporation. Good to see you, my friend. And smash up that like button. So EMA 9 and EMA 21. So if we get the 9 on the weekly to cross over the 21, right now the 9 is at 18,900 and the 21 EMA in the weekly is at 19,700 as we went over. That's going to be a very bullish thing. Notice over here, after the March of 2020 crash, just using these moving averages to simply explain basic trends. They're very easy ways to track the trend of the market. But if we look over here, this was the last time we actually had the 9 weekly EMA cross over the 21, and this happened in May of 2020. After that cross happened, right, this is the golden cross. After this cross happened over here in May of 2020, we did not break that until June of 2021 when we had that summertime correction. We again got the golden cross in August of 2021. We went to that new all-time high. And then over here in December of 2021, we had the death cross. That's just where the 9 falls below the 21. And it's been down since. Okay, but as we see, the 9 is creeping back up to the 21 weekly EMA. We get this weekly golden cross. That's another, flare shot in the air that we are full risk on. This is all going to happen very soon. All right, so now is the time to be tapped in. Now is the time to be paying attention to crypto. Most people are still scared. Power to them, right? I wish them well. But listen, scared money does not make any money. You need balls to make money in crypto. You need to buy when you don't feel like buying. You need balls, all right? So if you don't have that, this is not the market for you. You can come back when Bitcoin is trading at 40K and this rally's pretty much over, and you can start buying then. But you do have to take some risk in this market. Most people are still scared. Most people are upset that they missed this rally. Max pain is up. Max pain as we continue to tear up higher, but still watch for the pullback to $19,700 and get yourself some bags then if you want to wait for a pullback. Regardless, that's what I'm seeing on Bitcoin. I just spent a good amount of time talking about Bitcoin. I do want to go over some altcoins, but really the main key with altcoins, there's a few of them. Of course, there's Bitcoin dominance. So first, let's look at Bitcoin dominance. Then we're going to look at Ethereum versus Bitcoin. And let's pull up BTC dominance over here. So charging up, this is the daily chart. We are now in a supply zone, a resistance area at 44%. So if Bitcoin dominance goes higher, that is not good for altcoins. We need Bitcoin to be weak versus altcoins in order to see altcoins pump like we want them to. There will be some outliers in the altcoin market where they're going to go up 100% plus in a day. That's just how crypto works. But for the large majority of the market, especially for active trading, higher liquidity, large market cap altcoins, right? Like your top 50, top 100 coins that you trade on CoinGecko, that's what I'm talking about. You want Bitcoin dominance to be down to see those really pump hard, right? Your low cap gems can pump in any market conditions, but regardless, we have to see what happens. This is 2 weekly bullish candles on the Bitcoin dominance chart in a row. This is showing that Bitcoin is going to keep sucking liquidity, but we're now at a supply zone. Ideally, what we want to see is this just roll over and go lower again, and this is going to be a full risk on altcoin season if we do get that. All right, but we're at this resistance level now. It's looking like our weekly candle is going to close just below the supply zone. So let's watch this upcoming week. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if we have a cool-off week on Bitcoin where we just kind of oscillate between these 2 EMAs, the 21 and the 200 on the weekly. these two here, right? We can spend some time in this gap. So let's continue to watch Bitcoin dominance. Now for altcoins, in order to really trade altcoins on the lower time frames, we need Ethereum versus Bitcoin to be bullish. And if we look at ETH BTC right now, it has been showing a lot of weakness over the past few days. All right, as we can see, since January 11th, January 12th over here, we have dropped 7% on ETH BTC. And if we go to the hourly chart, we really want to see this reverse, and we can just use a 200 EMA again. And on our 200 EMA, it is currently at 0.073. All right, so really for altcoins to be bullish, we want to see ETH BTC just get over this line. Just give us that indicator that, because for altcoins to pump, Ethereum is the #1 altcoin. So Ethereum leads alts. We need ETH BTC to be bullish for altcoins to really pump. So I would wait personally to long altcoins until we have Ethereum Bitcoin above 0.073, 7.3 million Satoshis, ideally in a perfect world. So watch for that. When we get this flip, right, when price reclaims this level, that's a good indication to look for your altcoin longs. Of course, it's kind of a lagging indicator, so if everything is on support, which we're going to go over right now, you can long early. So let's get into some altcoin trades, some altcoin trade ideas, what I am looking at to trade this upcoming week. Before I do go ahead and do that, I want to go over our Twitter wisdom for the day. So our Twitter wisdom is from the Byzantine General. Thank you for your tweet today, sir. We're going to use it in our live stream. So it's pretty much a comedy tweet, right? So he's saying, FTX manipulates the entire market all of 2022. FTX is pretty much, they are responsible for crashing Luna. They did so many sketchy things, it's unbelievable, and they got away with it all. Right, so there's a lot of accuracy to this tweet. So FTX goes ahead and manipulates the entire market all of 2022. They literally sell spot holdings on FTX that users didn't want to have sold. They went into your account and they sold your coins to manipulate market prices. It's true. Crypto Twitter, all good, no worries. Now over here, FTX is gone. The market finally goes up a bit. And all the angry bears yelling, crying, kicking their feet and screaming, saying that this is unacceptable, this is manipulation. The shadow cabals and cartels, the regulators must do something, right? The bears are making up every excuse in the book right now on why this pump is fake and we're going to go to new lows. They are screwed. They are screwed. There is a very good chance that the bottom is in. There is a possibility that something like this happens like we had in 2018, right, where we have the first bottom, right? We break the key support. This is the key support. We break it. Then we form a bit of this lake. We pump, and then we have an 88.6% retracement, essentially, right? I can pull a fib from the swing high to the swing low, and we pretty much go right to the 88.6 on the Fibonacci retracement. So it is possible that we have another one of these scenarios where we double bottom, but this does look an eerily lot like this most recent little bottom we had from really November after the FTX collapse until the start of the new year when we pumped out of that. All right, so bears, I wish them well. I hope they get over this, but there's a very good chance that the bottom's actually in here, man. So yeah, that's what we're looking at right now, but just a funny tweet. And as you can see here, right, the bears, when price is going down, when Bitcoin's at 15K, it's all organic selling. But when price starts to go up a little bit, it's all manipulation, and they are completely wrecked. And a lot of people saying we are at the disbelief part of the Wall Street cheat sheet, that this is just a sucker's rally, but really from disbelief we go to hope and then end up at euphoria. So my head is saying that the bottom's in. I could be wrong. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't have a magic conch shell to give me the exact answer. But the way things look, the way people still think that we're going to get new lows, there's a lot of indicators saying, especially just based off of sentiment, that the worst is over and that we do go up from here. There's going to be violent pullbacks along the way. It's not going to be straight up. But I do think that the worst has actually went ahead and passed us by, and we have a lot of good times to look forward to. All right, now let's go over altcoins. So first thing is first, Aptos. Aptos has been on an absolute tear. This coin is really a total scam. If you do any fundamental analysis on it, you'll see that the founders of the project are the old founders from Diem. And Diem was Facebook's blockchain, right? And we all know about Facebook. I don't need to put my tinfoil hat on and get into the details, but you can't trust them. It's a big tech conglomerate that literally steals all your data and sells it for profit. So a lot of sketchy things, and there's really nothing built on this blockchain. And if we look at the market cap, it went from $605 million to $2.1 billion. So I'm not sure where the billions of dollars are coming from to pump this coin so much, but regardless, it's like the strongest coin in the market right now. It went from $3, as we can see, $3 down here. Again, look at this base support. This is a 4-hour chart, but still, when price breaks that base support, this little deviation, yeah, this is what a bottom looks like. Then it reclaims and it goes parabolic. So Aptos went from $3 to now $13.25 with a high of $14.56. That's absolutely ridiculous. But let's talk about where this is headed next. So one thing to note is we do have some 4-hour bearish divergence here. Right, we have price making higher highs, RSI making lower lows here, so very clear divergence. Now, if this is actually going to break, what we want to look for is a break in market structure, and to find a break in market structure, we can use a trend line. What the heck happened to the RSI? Whatever. So anyways, this is a rising wedge essentially is what I'm trying to tell you. We have triple taps up top. We have bearish divergence. So it would make sense after such an extensive rally to get this to cool off. I will mark this supply zone on the chart here. This is from $11.36 down to approximately $10.48. All right, so we want to watch for this initial break. You can take a short on the initial break of this trend line if you want to scalp it. Right, you scalp this short down to this demand zone. You take your first profits here, lower your risk, and then you want to watch for if this actually gets broken or if it tries to fake you out and then pump back up from there. But for Aptos, $10, $11 is definitely a viable area for a pullback. What we have, this is an 18% move, by the way, back down to the middle of this level. So 18% is a healthy short. Obviously, there's some risk involved, so you need to exercise proper risk management. But yeah, it's a 2-to-1, less than a 2-to-1. It's not great. It's not a great setup on the 4-hour. Regardless, Aptos looks due for a pullback. If this thing continues to pump higher, that's how you know the market can remain completely irrational. So there's a saying in trading, you know, the market can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent. What that means is for all the bears trying to short this move, right, we get a pump, bears try to short this, they put their stop loss here, bam, short squeeze. Then again, we get another pump, bears try to short this, short squeeze, then we pump to new highs. You know, bears try to short up here, it pumps to new highs. It just keeps on wrecking shorts because the market can remain completely irrational, overbought, longer than you can remain solvent. So shorting now in such a strong trend is definitely dangerous. You really need to know what you're doing on your own. But there's a lot of shorts out there, especially after this weekend scam pump. So watch for APT. Let's go over some more coins. I'm curious. I haven't looked at Cardano in a while, so I'm just going to look at Cardano. First of all, on the daily. So Cardano, right, it broke down from its base support over here in October and again in November when FTX collapsed. Right, this was the base support. The low of the bear market came down here in May of 2022 as well as July. Double bottomed, but price kept on making the lower highs. Eventually support broke, it retested, and Cardano came all the way down to 25 cents, 24 cents. All right, so this whole thing, we're probably going to look back at this next year, and this very well could have been the bottom. We'll see. This thing was $3. It came all the way down to 24 cents, so that's a pretty big decline. But if we look at ADA now, it's approaching the main support resistance flip on the chart. So if ADA reclaims this, it's back in a bull trend. The trend is up. On the daily, all indicators I'm pretty sure are pointing up. Yeah, it's in a strong uptrend on the daily right now. And the daily 200 is up here at 42 cents. Okay, so this is Cardano's next target. And that lines up perfectly with my line on the chart with this support level. So we want to ride the train to this EMA on Cardano. This is a pretty easy trade if we want to trade this. All we need to do is look for a good spot to get into a long position on this. So we'll see what pullback we get from this market. Four-hour bearish divergence is very strong on this chart. It's looking super weak. So let's watch out for this. And the main area, interesting, that's at 31 cents. Yeah, the main area is going to be the 34 to 30 cent levels, right? If we get a pullback back into these levels, I would expect just consolidation, then a takeoff to 42 and possibly beyond. So one strategy would just be to layer bids down here, put a stop, and look for something like this. This is a 3.9 to 1 if you look for something like this. But Cardano, yeah, it's going to 42 cents, and if it can flip 42 cents, then it's going to keep pumping from there. As much as people hate on Cardano, I don't own this anymore in my portfolio. I did last bull market, bought it in the bear market. It's one of the first cryptocurrencies I ever bought, but I don't own any Cardano now, and I'm perfectly fine to not hold any. Right? It's been good to me in the past, but there's better stuff out there now where I don't need it. But that doesn't mean I won't trade it. And yeah, I have it going to 42 cents here. Watch for a pullback to these areas. You know, maybe it just comes down to 34. Just watch for this to happen. Watch for this break in market structure if it gives it to you. Right, this trend line break. That would be your signal that it's going to roll over and come down to this buy level. Let's keep it going with these legacy coins with XRP now. XRP back down to my entry that I gave on Friday when we had this nice trend line break. This one here. We pump up to 41 cents. Now we come back down and retest our entry. This thing could easily come back and just kind of chill here and go sideways for a while. I'm going to raise the time frame on this. So what I am looking for out of XRP is very simple. I'm looking for a higher time frame move to play out. Look at these wicks on this thing. Going back to November, right? All of these wicks get bought up very quickly. This tells us, this is basic reading price action. All this is doing is telling us that people are buying the heck out of XRP, especially when it drops below 35, 36 cents. It just gets bought up immediately. And the main resistance on the chart is very clear. I'm curious where the EMAs are on the daily. All right, so our daily 200 is right here. If we can flip above that, we're going to pump. And on the weekly, yeah, it's at 47 cents. So everything lining up for XRP to complete this higher time frame move. I have it going from 50 to around 55 cents. And this is going to print. This is going to print hard when the move happens. But the trick is to not get shaken out of your position before the actual move happens. So how do you do that? Well, obviously you exercise proper risk management so that you're not sweating and shaking with an open position on leverage. That's just basic trading psychology. If you put yourself at too much risk, you're not going to be able to properly manage your trade because you're betting too much money. You can't afford to lose that much if you feel anxious when you have an open position. You should be cold as ice, a stone cold killer. right? So if that's the case for you, you need to change that. Let's see how this weekly candle closes and where the week opens. It's pretty simple, right? If we look at XRP here, we know the week opened down here at $38.46. It's marked on my chart in orange. So all that happened this week on XRP, right? The weekly open happened right here, this big green candle. Last Sunday, all we did was we went up, we went down a little bit, and we went up. Now we're kind of still up from the weekly open, but we haven't gone too far. It was a pretty slow week, right? It was not a week of expansion. This was a week of consolidation on XRP, along with many other altcoins out there for the most part. So what we want to do now is see how this new next week happens, or how it goes, and see if we're going to get a week of expansion. So what we want to do is we can simply just mark the high of this week, right? We can say the high is at $41.06 or 41 cents, 41.66. We'll call this last week's high. We're going to have a new week very soon. So we know now that if price actually goes ahead and gets above last week's high price, well, we're going to have a week of expansion again, and we're going to go to our targets. So it's a very simple trigger. When we get above last week's high, we long the heck out of it. If we come back down to support, this is last week's low. If we break this, that's how we know we're going to sell off further to the downside. We're looking for longs here. We're expecting the trend to continue higher. So we know if it comes slightly down here, this is a support level. If it comes down here, we want to look to enter. We can put a stop below last week's low. We do have to be careful because market makers know there's going to be a lot of stop losses down here. But regardless, we can use these timed price levels based off of the recent price action of what price was doing this past week to trade successfully. You don't need to have all these fancy indicators on your chart to trade, right? You can literally just, that's why price action is so effective, because you're utilizing basic common sense things, right? Like last week's high price, last week's low price, where price opened in the last week. All of these things, if you know how to read the charts, it's going to make your life trading so much easier, right? Instead of stressing yourself out staring at some indicator, using that as your trading edge. It doesn't make sense to do that. Learn price action. It's going to help you out so much more. But yeah, XRP going to 55 cents. Let's see if we come back down into, this is the buy area down here essentially. We'll see if we come back down to this buy area, giving us a better entry. But I'm going to look to ride this move up to 55 cents on XRP. It's going to be a big hit, and it will happen. Of course, you can just hold it spot too, because this is a gain of like 30%. So that's a pretty good spot gain as well. But yeah, Sniff is saying that XRP stands for extra raggedy poo coin. I agree. Complete trash fundamentals, but I will trade it if it's going to pump 30%, which I do think it will do. I don't discriminate when it comes to money. The money's green, as they say. Let me catch up with this live chat right now. Error saying, we saw such an explosive bull run in 2020 because there was unprecedented amount of money printing due to unprecedented level of pandemic. So do you think the next bull run will not be as big then? I think we'll flip risk on. I think the Fed is going to shift again. But the market's going to turn bullish before that happens. The market is always a leading indicator. Goda saying, isn't money in general a shy deer? You can call it a shy deer. You just need to know how to go get it. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Nikolai, do explore FET if you feel like it. Very interesting, solid project with very interesting PA. Yeah, listen, I've been talking about FET long before the majority of people talking about FET today. I was calling for the AI crypto narrative really before anybody else that I'm aware of. But yeah, FET, crazy price action for sure. Again, what do we have? We have that deviation. These are what bottoms look like. Price deviates from the support level, comes back up, and goes vertical. This is a very common theme with a lot of coins. And this is a daily chart. It spent a few weeks down here at this bottom and just absolutely took off. Now, if you look at where it is, we know the range it spent a lot of time at the highs is up here at 70 cents. So we know it it still has like a 3x back to this range high. Up here, 70 to 90 cents to $1. It's got like a 3-4x to those prices. So there's still a lot of gains to be made on FET. I don't think it's really going to pull back a lot. I think this thing's just going to continue to explode higher and higher and higher. I mean, we're above every metric right now. We're above the 200 weekly too. This thing is so strong. So all we are going to do is look for a decent spot to look for a pullback. And I mean, my eyes go right here to this level at 23 cents to 21 cents. Maybe we further correct down to 18 to 20, but you cannot count on that the way this thing is so strong, right? So this is your first buy zone from 21 to 23, and your second one is going to be from really 18 to 19 cents here. These are your two buy levels on FET if you want to get into this thing. It's just getting started. It has a long way to go. If we look at the coin perspective on FET, the market cap is currently $270 million. So we know it's going to be in the billions. When it gets to a $1 billion market cap, it's going to be over a 3x. But if it gets to a $2 billion market cap, that's going to be like a 7x from current price. That'll put it at $1.88. If you go watch my old videos on YouTube, search Fetch AI Crypto Empire, you can see I have 4 videos here. Now we got every nerd on YouTube talking about it like they know it all, but regardless, good for them. But anyways, in these videos here, I was calling for $3 to $5 FET. So if we get that $3 to $5 FET, in order for it to hit $3, it needs to go to a $3.2 billion market cap, and it's got an 11x to that. So there's still money to be made with FET. Just because you didn't buy it down here at 5-6 cents doesn't mean you still can't make any money with it, but you're not going to get the same return, obviously. But yeah, 10x, you can 10x easily with FET, I would say. Nothing is easy. There's going to be bad shakeouts. You're going to want to sell earlier, but I think it will 10x from current price to that $3 billion market cap level. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Let's see. Ron, you mentioned Bitcoin at 40K. Is that your upside projection, and how soon? Within the next, by March, April maybe. It's my projection. Elvis, thoughts on Thorchain RUNE? Let's take a look at the RUNE chart. Let's see. Thorchain RUNE. So it's clearly having some trouble up here at $1.80. Looks like it just hit a wall at $1.80. Does make sense looking at this. But I mean, this thing it's looking very strong. Looking very, very strong. Again, you have the deviation. This is your base support down here. Price deviates from it. Spends a lot of time. Spends like 3 months below. The second it reclaims, it starts to go straight up. Really starts to shift into gear as soon as it got back over $1.44, right, which was that previous main support in the bear market low from June of 2022. So pullbacks 157 is your first level, this yellow line, and then another one at 150. But this thing is trending higher. It is now in an uptrend, breaking that support and making a higher high past the FTX collapse high at 172. So I like 150 and 143 as pullback levels in here for RUNE. Now targets, yeah, it needs to come back up here and test this 237, 236 level up here. It's a 36% move. So if you want to trade this, you'd have to be patient with it and either wait for 157 or 150, something like this. And you can try to catch this. That would be a 9-to-1 if you can catch something like this on a pullback. So watch for it to come down. Now, I hope I am wrong where we don't pull back this week and we just go straight up still. But it is overheated, so I would not be surprised. And we have this Sunday. This was a Sunday retail trap. Everything pumping on a Sunday morning makes no sense. They're trapping the noobs, getting them to ape into longs on the weekend, and they just flush them all out. So we'll see how the week starts. I'm excited for the weekly open in an hour and a half now. But yeah, the way it looks, I would not be surprised. Everything is looking a little heavy at resistance. So watch for a pullback. Can you show possible pullback levels to Litecoin before the halving and Algo? Yeah, we got Algorand for you top 10. Let's take a look at that right now. Algo's been on a tear, performing super well recently. On our daily or on our 1 hour chart, we can see since Friday it has gone up. It went up 17%, now up 12% from this low down here. So explosive chart. And it's bullish. There's no doubt about it that it is bullish. Check this on the daily. So wow, Algo's June low is up here at 27 cents. So it needs to go test that level. It's going there. Let's look at 13% to go from there. So possible areas to look for a pullback, you're going to want to look in this region. This is from 23 cents to 22 cents. Drop this to a lower time frame. That makes sense. Yeah, so for Algo, watch it to come here. I would look to place limit orders in at around 23 to 22 cents, in this little pocket. Because this thing is very strong, and it was getting crushed for so long. As you can see, it's crazy how the crypto market works. As soon as the calendar year flipped to 2023, they flipped the script and everything started to turbo pump. Literally, this thing bottomed out December 30th. December 31st and New Year's, it was on its way up. And it has not looked back since. So yeah, Algo is very strong right now. Had one shakeout to 20 cents. Yeah, your level is 23 to 22 cents on Algo to look to get long. Your first target is going to be up here at 27, and then it goes higher from there, obviously. So if we look to set this up, so you got yourself like an 11-to-1. If that works out, obviously, there's no such thing as free lunch in this market. But I would look for a pullback into this gray zone that I have on my chart on Algorand. But definitely, once it reclaims this June low over here, it's going to continue to move. This is the main resistance on the current chart. And your 200 daily EMA is at 32. And that just so happens to be where I put my profit target for the long trade. Yeah, coincidence? There's no such thing as coincidences, as they say. So yeah, that's where I would be targeting on the trade. 32 cents. Shout out to Randy FPV saying to smash up that like button. I agree with you, Randy. Smash up that like button. Thank you very much, sir. Sin Pell saying, let's look at Elrond, EGLD, now known as Multiverse X. Elrond, another one. That's another one that, so, yeah, EGLD, it's so funny how it works, right? All these charts look the same. Again, this is what a bottom looks like on a chart. You have this wick from June at $37. Price broke through that wick. Look at this V-shaped recovery. Right, this deviation right back above the support, and it just goes straight up. So many charts look like this. I'll be damned if this isn't the bottom and we come and we break this and make new lows. I do have a demand zone on this chart at $29 to $25. Right, this was the next buy area on EGLD based off of previous price action from over here in 2020. But, you know, this is a higher low as of right now, and we have to consider this bullish. So EGLD now battling the December monthly open this week. This was a bullish week with our open at $40.88. That was the January 15th open. So we marked that on the chart. I like to mark the weekly open every single week. Just lets me know if we're going to have a red or green week. But again, same thing I looked at with XRP, right? This week was pretty choppy. We open above, we go below, we go above, dump below. Now we're back above, and we're going to close above, which is bullish. So we want to see that continue higher. And this candle, this weekly candle, is going to close now in 1 hour and 22 minutes. So I'm excited for that. And we want to clear the high at 44.56. So I would just bid the weekly open from this week. I would place bids right here at 40.88 if I wanted to long EGLD. Maybe it doesn't fill, but there's a pretty decent chance it does. You risk something like 5%, and then on the daily, the 200 EMA was what? Man, TradingView is annoying sometimes. It makes my life difficult for no reason. So our 200 is at 56. It makes total sense to me. That's a 39% gain, risking 5%. I like it, but be careful. Maybe looking at the daily chart, our daily support is here at 39. So I would also bid at 39.18, and I would put the stop on that trade below 37.25, or right at 37.25. Something like that. But maybe it doesn't come back down to that support and it just wicks to the weekly open. Regardless, I mean, pretty sure I called the bottom exactly on this thing. This was on January 12th in my Discord. I said, EGLD at big resistance. This thing is cheap as heck. It will be back above $40 in no time. This was on Thursday, January 12th. When the price of this was down here. And yeah, I mean, I was obviously right about that. It was a no-brainer. It was just play the deviation. As soon as it gets back above the trend line, it's going to pump. And the trend is now up. Expect this to continue higher. It's been lagging behind a lot of other altcoins, but this looks like a very viable trade to me on EGLD. Michael saying, Connor, it's not only Aptos. Solana also did a massive pump from $8 to $23. Yeah, the other sketchy layer one, Solana. If we look at Sol over here. So we broke this trend line this morning. And this was a bit of a flag, but it just broke market structure. Notice what happened this past week on Thursday and Friday. This trend line had been respected from all the way down here at $8, like you mentioned, Michael, right? This trend line goes all the way to that bottom. Every time price tested the trend line, it respected it. This past week, it deviated below the trend line, then exploded out of it. So we're going to see now if it actually wants to lose the trend line, or if it wants to just do another deviation like it did over here. One way to essentially determine if that's going to happen or not is to see if we have an actual solid break in market structure over here. Right? To me, this looks like it wants to come back possibly to the weekly open, possibly to my gray box. Keep in mind, I do have this demand zone on the Solana chart that lines up with this 2-hour 200 EMA at $20.20. So yeah, I would bid $20 in this demand zone. It never really got retested over here this past week. And this was a crazy pump out of this. You know, it pumped 25%. I was watching Solana the entire time it was up here in this consolidation. Lost interest, it drops, and then it exploded. But I actually, like DOGE looked the exact same. If we look at DOGE over here, I did take this trade, but DOGE very similar, right? It's consolidating, loses, and it just forms this base on support. I went over this in my last video. Also I wasn't looking at the 2-hour 200. I don't really use the EMAs too much. I like them on the higher time frames. But yeah, it was in this base on support, and it just pumped out of there. I woke up, I saw that, so I took it then. But yeah, you know, this thing only pumped like 8%. Solana pumped 25%. So that's trading. You're not going to always catch the big winners, the big runners. But if you make money, you're doing better than most. So take the wins and stack the wins and exercise risk management so that you don't blow your entire account. But a good idea, always just bid the weekly open, right? Notice this wick goes right to the weekly open. So that's why I like to mark them on my charts. They give me a lot of indication of, you know, good levels to look for price to retrace to. It's good support. Just bid the weekly open basically is a good strategy. And we got errors. Can you show possible pullbacks for Litecoin before the next halving? I most certainly can. Let's look at Litecoin. Currently trading at $87.21. It wicked down to 86 today. So again, my buy levels for Litecoin is 87, 87, 85, 83. Anything lower, right? It came down to 81, but was bought up pretty heavily. It's also a major trend line down there too. All right, this trend line, as we can see, this structure holding up very well for support and resistance. So possible pullback levels on Litecoin. Down here, again, 83 to 85. 83 to 85 are your pullback levels still. That has not changed. Hasn't really changed at all on Litecoin. And I still have this thing going to 180 to 200. Realistically, next bull run, you guys have to understand Litecoin is... It also, when you mine Litecoin, you also mine Dogecoin. Litecoin and Dogecoin are like two peas in a pod. So if something happens with Elon and Dogecoin goes crazy, Litecoin is also going to go crazy too. Litecoin is a $1,000 coin, right? This is a 10x plus, believe it or not. A lot of people won't like me saying that. A lot of people are not a fan of it. And if you just want like a safer, less risky play, that it's going to give you a higher potential return than Bitcoin, you can go with something like Litecoin and just trade it for Bitcoin when it pumps. Because if you look at the LTC BTC chart, you know, the levels up here, it's got a 3x in it. And this chart is now back down to these support levels. I was expecting this gray box to hold, but it looks like we could come back down and test this where these wicks were, or maybe even test the trend line again. But regardless, I'm expecting the Litecoin Bitcoin chart to bottom out soon. So for pullback levels on this, looking at our weekly candle too, this weekly candle is a doji representing indecision. So we opened December at $79, basically 80. And the first week in December opened at 77. I really don't think we're going to get big retracements on this thing. I hope I'm wrong to be able to kind of load more. But this is where I would be looking. 83 to 85 and then 78 to 76. That would make sense. And let's look at LDO while we are at it. So Lido LDO, based off of the Ethereum liquid derivative staking tokens. That narrative it's got going for it. Possibly losing its parabola over here. We're going to see what happens. Already broke, if we drew trend lines, it already broke the trend line. So, yeah, huge run up from the bottom over here below $1. Went as high as 165%. But the demand for this thing below $2, every time it comes below 2, it's been getting bought up instantly. So if it does come down, that still will probably remain, where below $2, people are going to just buy. There's going to be a buy wall, so price most likely won't go below like 170, 167. And then it just goes up again from there. So that is Lido. Let's see. What advice do you have on position sizing into various altcoins? So when it comes to position sizing, it depends on the size of your overall portfolio. Let's say you have 100 grand. 100 grand is a lot of money to invest into crypto, and you can become a millionaire with that. So let's say you have 100 grand. For your low caps, you should not put more than 2 to 3% of your portfolio, so $2,000 to $3,000 into a very high speculation low cap. Like the things that I mentioned in my video today that I released earlier. More than 2-3%, you expose yourself to a lot of risk because these coins can go to zero, more so than something like Lido or Litecoin. It's more of a guaranteed bet, but there's no such thing as free lunch. And then, for your higher gainers, you can obviously put in larger portions of your investment capital. But for your low caps, just exercise risk management. If you want to gamble with them, that's up to you, and put like 10, 15, 20K into low caps. Not saying I haven't done it, but that's up to you if you want to go ahead and do stuff like that. But there's 1,000 ways to skin the cat. Just make sure you can afford to lose the money that you don't need it to pay for your bills, and you'll be all right. And we got Tintin asking for Luna. Luna having a big day. Or actually, it looks like it retraced most of today's pump. Scam pump Sunday. And holding this trend line still. So Luna, if I go back to the daily chart here, this is our target. Right? If we're going to trade Luna on the long side, we want to look for this to come up to around $2.90, right, where these previous wicks are. This is a supply zone. So if we know that's where we're headed and we want to look for a way to get long there, we basically want to look for pullbacks. If you notice where the current price is, we're using this previous resistance as new support, so that's encouraging to see. And we're also at this trend line support. And it is holding right now in the 4-hour. So I would still probably bid this weekly open from January 15th at 207, 206. If you catch a wick down there, that could be just a wick bottom, and you get to ride it up at the best entry possible. You risk 6% to make 37%. So that's why it's always good to try to bid lower, get yourself a better entry instead of market buying. When you see something on Twitter, when somebody tweets out Luna and you market buy, it's much better to place a bid lower than current price, a limit order well ahead of time. It's also going to save you brain cells and not spike or cortisol. So yeah, I would do something like that for Luna. And INJ as well, injective protocol. It's a popular one. A lot of people talking about INJ. I know a lot of people were talking about it on Twitter today when it was up here. It was today was such bait. It was retail bait, Sunday pump. You can't trust the Sunday pumps, right? People were aping into INJ up here and it just totally wrecks them, especially if they went in with leverage. But yeah, INJ is strong. This daily chart here, it's looking very strong. Interesting down here at 125 was the bottom. It's a really small deviation. It's been like 5 days and then it's been straight up. The pullback this previous week. So areas to look for a pullback, 180. Right, if we get a pullback this week to 180 to 164, I like that. And our weekly open is literally at 164, 165 actually. So yeah, bid the weekly open at 165. $165.3. So maybe you get blessed with a pullback down to this level. It's going to give you a much better entry than all the people staring at Twitter all day. Seeing people talk about INJ and buying the top. Usually patience will pay better if you wait for it to come down. So that's where you want to wait for it. 165 to 170, $1.70 is where you should basically look to bid. If it blows through that, well then down here is your next support. That's at like $1.50. So those are your buy levels for INJ, or you can just be an ape and buy it now in this red candle and hope for the best and cross your fingers. Targets for this, well, it's certainly going to come back up here to 279. And from current price, that is 46%. But yeah, 376 also looks like a good level to target. So, I mean, let's try to catch some low bids and just ride this thing. Something like this. That would be ideal. It's risking 6% to make 122%. Everybody screenshot this trade and let's see if it hits. Tag me on Twitter if it does. By the way, follow me on Twitter at ccell_8. And also Zyberswap, guys. This is a Arbitrum project. They're launching tomorrow with a fair launch. So if you're interested in that, check it out. Should be good. You're getting a lot of traction very quickly. Smash up that like button, by the way, too, if you're enjoying the live stream. But yeah, INJ injective protocol. Maybe it doesn't pull back. You know, this weekly candle is green. We're going to get another weekly open in an hour and 5 minutes. At least bid 180. If you're going to bid 180 and then 165. But yeah, this thing's going up. It's going to 2x. It's going to get to 375. I can definitely see that happening. Even if you bid 180, yeah, you'll still get a 2x out of it. So that's good. I like that. Let's see. Tintin saying, please add coin EDG to our low cap on HedgeX, please. Haha. Let's check these out. EDG, Edgeware. Market cap of 4.1 mil. That's super low. And what was the other one? KOIN. What you got over here, Tintin? Koinos. Pretty sure you've mentioned these to me before. Interesting stuff. A lot of gems out there. A lot of trash, but a lot of gems. So be careful about what you buy. But I'll check those out, Tintin. Thank you for the alpha. Moby Sage, what's going on, Moby? Saying, with the optimism airdrops upcoming and the fact it's already 200% to 300% up, could people dump their airdrop and could OP crash for better entries? Yeah, I can see that happening, Moby. But at the same time, OP has been like the strongest coin. But yeah, this thing's probably going to be like $20, $30 next bull market. Like, this is a baby chart. This is in its infancy, and it's about to break out to new highs. Yes, people are going to get the airdrop soon, and they could just sell the airdrop. But they'd be selling it not even close to the peak of the market. So smart people are going to hold on to that airdrop and wait for, you know, prices up here around $20, $30. Because layer 2s are going to be the meta narrative in the next bull market. ZK Sync, Arbitrum, Optimism, Aztec, Metis, all these layer 2s, MATIC, Polygon, going to be huge. So I think that OP at 217 has a lot of room to run higher. But yeah, I mean, for sure it can come back down below $2. I've noticed though, when airdrops come out, the coin usually pumps. And then it dumps after. But it usually has an initial pump when the airdrop first comes out. For some reason, people like buy it when everybody gets airdropped. I don't know. It is to trade it, I essentially guess. Yeah, because I remember when the Uniswap airdrop came out in 2020. That was a very good trade to just buy Uniswap immediately. And then you can sell it for like a 2x 1 hour later. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Let's see, we got Haji. Connor, thanks for everything you do. Can we take a look at LCX? Listen, LCX is complete trash. I understand why people like it, though. It's essentially the World Economic Forum exchange coin. And all the people that like love the banker coins love LCX. But it's exactly what I said it is. It's a scam. It reminds me of FTX. Digital Asset Revolution. Sponsored by the World Economic Forum. Anyways, on the weekly chart, clearly very strong. What do we have? We have this deviation. Again, this is what bottoms look like, folks. As soon as it got back above 4 cents, it started to take off 2x from there. So if you bought the scam coin, congratulations to you. You're making money. Good for you. This chart has been down only since 2021. So our weekly open is here at 7.5 cents. So if we wanted to look for a place to get into this, I would look around here. $8 to 7.9, 8 cents. The trend is up. The technicals say this is going to go higher. So I would do this. Yeah, right in there, 8 cents. And your targets. Next one up is going to be 12 cents. After that, you have 14 cents. And then after that, you have 21 cents. So this is going to multiply. There's money to be made. And from current price to 21 is over a 2x. So definitely money to be made here on LCX. And then your last one is going to be up here at 33. So it's got a 2 to 3x in it. And then it's going to go into the price discovery. This is the all-time high at 56. So yeah, you'll make money with this. And for your pullbacks, 7 to 8 cents is your area to watch for. I just realized I got a $5 super chat from Senretsu. Thank you for that $5 super chat, sir. He's saying, total degen play for me, fam. Your take on Tectonic? I'm bullish on Tonic, SKL, and Reserve Rights RSR. Well, thank you for the $5 super chat. Now, Tectonic, Let's check this one out. So I haven't heard of this one, Sanretsu, so I can't really give my take on it because I haven't necessarily heard of it. Coin, do I think FET is overbought? I covered FET earlier in the stream. But yeah, I gave some outline pullback levels to look for on FET, but I have it going to the range it was in last bull run, 70 cents to $1. So it's still got like a 3 to 4x possibly before it's really gonna get to an interesting spot. But let's see. Let's look at Tectonic. Okay, I like this. Users can deposit assets to earn passive income or borrow funds to unlock liquidity in their assets. So this right here, if you know anything about how crypto works, if you were around during that last bull market, you understand that when you deposit money into a protocol, you are giving up control of your assets in hopes of a very lucrative interest payment to you for those assets. It's a Ponzi scheme, which is a beautiful thing in crypto because Ponzi's pump the hardest. Look at Hex, look at Drip. Remember Drip Network from the last bull market? Total Ponzi. Big shout out to Mr. G, who hangs out in my Telegram chat and comments in all of my videos. Mr. G, if you were watching this, you are an absolute legend. He told me about Drip when nobody knew about it. He was talking about it in my Telegram group. I was like, dude, this is a Ponzi scheme. This is a scam. Long story short, it went like multiple hundred X's. Right? It went from like cents to $150. The most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. A bunch of uneducated people buying up here at the top thinking they can just put money into Drip and make passive income. Ponzi's pump the hardest in crypto. It's down 99.7% now at 55 cents. That's what happens. That's why you need to sell at the top. But anyway, back to Tectonic, crypto loans and passive income. I mean, it's beautiful, man. So yeah, it's a good degen play for you, 100x. Hope it works out. And listen, if you don't know where the yield is coming from, you are the yield. The money you deposit into the protocol, that's how they're paying themselves and the interest. So keep that in mind. Just sell at the right time and you'll be okay. But yeah, it sounds like a total Ponzi to me, which is 99% of crypto at this point. Reason I say that, look, if you put 100 crypto millionaires in a room together and you ask them, how did you make your $1 million in crypto? Over 50% of the people standing in that room created a crypto project. And they just sold the coins that they minted from thin air, that they raised from VC venture capitalist money. Most people get rich in crypto. The people that most often get rich in crypto are the guys creating the projects. All right, so that's why you really need to have discernment and understand that most of the stuff you see on your screen is a total scam to make the founders rich. But that doesn't mean you can't get rich riding off their pigtails, basically buying the coin that they create. Because if it's actually good, it's going to pump and you have the opportunity to make money. So it's a beautiful thing. It's a dog-eat-dog world. It is a shark market. But if you play it correctly, you have the opportunity to make a lot of money in it. But yeah, I mean, Ponzi's pump the hardest. But before I go off on too much of a tangent, it's Sunday night. I have some other things to do, so I need to go ahead and wrap up the live stream now. I do want to thank everybody for showing up to today's live stream. And we just got Labradoodle tuning in now. But anyways, yeah, thank you for your support for the live stream today. If you guys have not already followed me on Twitter, go follow me on Twitter at @CCell_8. If you want to get access to my Discord, go to cryptoempirecode.io and join the Discord group. If you're wondering where I trade, I use Bitget. So go make a Bitget account if you have not already, using my link down in the description below. Register with Bitget, get a discount on all of your trading fees and much more. I greatly appreciate your support if you do go ahead and use my link. But that's all for me from today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the stream. A lot of coins I didn't get to cover, but I can't do this forever, so I'll look at BNB because I wanted to actually go over BNB before I ended the stream. Right now it's at $300. And on this chart, So highly unlikely it breaks 285. I think it probably stays down here. Maybe 285 is the low. But this weekly candle is going to close. Look at this weekly candle. It looks like Litecoin. Consolidation. Simple, really. So the high is 311.4. So we mark that 311.4. We say last week's high. Okay. So we know here this can be a long trigger basically. Yeah. Maybe you use this wick instead. You use one of these two wicks. This is going to be a long trigger. When price gets above that and closes above it on a 4-hour candle, that's your indication it's going to push higher. But I would expect, I would bid around here, around 290 to 285 on BNB. This is where I would bid, try to catch a long. I'm not expecting a crazy violent pullback. We just got a super chat from AMC to the Moon saying, what hardware wallet would you recommend? So I like TREZOR. If you go to my, on any one of my videos actually, scroll down and go here to my affiliate links. And I have links to the official TREZOR website. I do get a small kickback if you use my link. But yeah, TREZOR is better than Ledger. So I recommend TREZOR. Thank you for that super chat. Now, if we get Bitcoin to go to 19.7, then we're going to get a pretty violent pullback on altcoins. So if that happens, you know, we can easily come back down here to 270, 271, right? This is worst case where BNB comes into this demand zone at around 270 to 275. So maybe you want to bid down here. But regardless, once price gets above 311, 315, it's going to run hard and it's going to get back up here to around 350. So it's going to look something like this. If you can catch a bid low, it's going to be really good. And if you're using leverage, your entry is so important. So yeah, regardless, that's kind of my overall thoughts on the market. We're definitely a little bit overheated. Just to go over it again, Bitcoin, if we look at the weekly chart, I pull up some basic simple EMAs like the 21 EMA and the 200 weekly EMA. Our 200 weekly is up here at 25K. Our 21 weekly is down here at 19.7. So I don't think we go lower than 19.7K on a pullback. That's the level that I would expect to really hold as strong support. But if that happens, if we see Bitcoin roll over to this, it's going to cause a lot of pain on altcoins. It's going to be like a 30-40% drop on a lot of altcoins. It's going to totally wash out the leverage. And we see that all the time, especially in a bull market, right? Let's go back in time. I know I said I was going to end the stream, but listen, we're covering some important information here. Listen, when Bitcoin gets going, don't think it can't pull back. Over here, it got above the 21 weekly EMA. Has a strong pump, but look, on these pullbacks, this thing drops 20% in a week. This crushes altcoins. Altcoins get crushed, so you cannot over leverage yourself. Again, it'll drop 20% pullback on its way up higher. 16%. Altcoins drop double that, triple that. 30%, 50% drops on altcoins in a week. So yeah, if Bitcoin comes down and tests 19.7, it's going to give the bears a lot of hope. It's going to make them think that they're right. But that does not mean that the uptrend is broken. We still go up from there. It's just giving us a reset, basically. And we're definitely overheated. Weekly RSI is good, but our daily RSI is up here at 85. Spent a lot of time at 89. That's crazy overbought. So we're definitely overheated. And we had a retail scam pump today. Just watch out if we get a pullback and understand that longs, if you're leveraged, you're going to get washed out. Your stop loss will get hit. So yeah, that's kind of our worst case scenario for this upcoming week. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this support or this live stream. Thank you for your support. I'm clocking out right now mentally. I got to go, guys. I'll see you all later. I have some stuff to do, and I can't be in my office anymore. I got an appointment later on tonight to be at, so I got to get ready for that. Have an amazing night. If it's Monday for you already, go ahead and have yourself an amazing day. Hope you enjoyed this live stream. We covered a lot of stuff, a lot of good stuff in this stream. We'll see what happens in the future here, folks. I think the bottom is in, personally. I don't think we make new lows. We can get a retracement like we had in March of 2020, but I think that the worst is behind us now, and the people that are still scared to buy are going to be forced to buy up higher. So play your fate as you will. It's your call. That's it. We'll see what happens in the future, but I will be here every single week, every single Sunday. And again, if you want access to me daily, join my Discord. Have an amazing night. Connor from Crypto Empire signing out. I'll see you in the next video.